guys, welcome back to Lion's Little Thinkers Den. Today we're going to discuss about human rights. You might be wondering why I brought up this topic, human rights. Well, as you see, last 3 weeks or 1 month ago, America was having bad situations in the pandemic, and it got another situation, which is George Floyd's death. Now, George Floyd's death isn't just a death. It's a link to human rights because he's supposed to be proven guilty, and then he's supposed to get the punishment or the grievances he's gonna get. But they didn't do that. America was missing that. So we're going to discuss about human rights today. So let's start with the history of human rights. The whole history of human evolution is the struggle for the equality of rights. It has not been a one-day struggle. It has been a thousands of years struggle till George Floyd's death now. There are different milestones in history where particularly they fought for equality of rights. It all started in the 500 BC with Cyrus the Great Declaration, then Magna Carta, Petition of Rights, American Revolution, French Revolution inspired by the American Revolution, then Napoleon Emperor taking over Europe, then the fight back to them. Then came the World War, which means that Hitler had the xenophobia to the Jews. That is also a problem with racism, which gets down the human rights. Then, to end this all, came the UN in 1945. So now let's understand what and how these events happened. So first, where our journey started to the rights of equality in the 500 BC, Cyrus the Great let off his slaves, so he let them free. Then is the Magna Carta, where King John of England was equal before the law. So he had a political crisis, that's why he had to do this. Then came the Petition of Rights, where habeas corpus, where you don't, arrest people, without judging them. Then there's also you can do no taxation without representation. So if you have a nice house, you go to them and say, you have a nice house, so now you have to pay me tax. Can't do that because you don't have representation. Then is the American Revolution. America has the first constitution and the oldest constitution. So it revolted British and it got its rights back. That's when America was born. Now France was inspired of the American Revolution. So it started its own revolution. And it brought up the natural law, which included liberty, equality, and fraternity. Then came the Napoleon Emperor. It took back all the laws and rights from Europe, and he conquered the whole Europe. He almost succeeded, but in 1814, Europe fought back. So they got all their countries back, and then these countries had enough. So enough was enough for them, and they put up assembly, and Europe got rights, natural rights. Then is the World War I and the World War II. This is the place where equality of rights was almost gone to extinction, with Hitler having xenophobia to Jews. So for this, people stopped the war, and they didn't want this war again. So they built up the UN. Now, what kind of idea did they want? Everyone seemed to have a different idea of natural so there's natural rights, there's natural laws, then there is rights. So there are many different ideas for each country. It took almost like 3 years to make it everyone agreed to one view. The UN's view to establishment was to reaffirm faith in fundamental human rights, dignity and worth of human and person. So with this idea, people went and requested for the UN Charter. Then the United Nations Declaration for Human Rights was born. Even though countries have adopted the UN Declaration of Human Rights, people's minds have not adopted it. So this was the condition for George Floyd's death. And even though in Article 11 in the UN Charter, there is a law that they shouldn't be judged until they're proven guilty, but George Floyd wasn't. The Minneapolis police officer just choked the life out of him. He wasn't, asked questions. He wasn't asked why he did it. He wasn't proven guilty, so that's the problem. And even in this COVID-19 situation, people are still trying to revolt America for not taking this human rights seriously, to get a little more, make this an important hot topic in the situation. COVID-19 situation, people are coming out and are trying to get their own equality of rights in this time. So, a great conclusion, and I hope you have some other views than just this view. It's my view. You can have a different view, and I hope you put your views in the comments below, and I'll see you next time with another interesting topic. Subscribe or hit the bell button and all those blah blah blah, which I don't care, but be sure to watch my video.